My research paper was on domestic violence and the effects on children. Domestic violence is a huge epidemic that many people are unaware of. In many environments, domestic violence is defined as a violent or aggressive behavior within the home, typically involving the violent abuse of a spouse or partner. There are a multitude of effects that children and young adults endure due to violence in the home. Whether they are direct or indirect victims of the abuse, adults need to understand the impact that domestic violence has on a child in any circumstance. Domestic abuse is not something that is exaggerated. It is an issue that can have an extreme impact on the people involved and can cause a significant amount of damage. In the article, The Effects of Family and Community Violence on Children, written by authors Gayla Margolin and Elena B. Gordis, they state that while describing internalizing and externalizing problems associated with exposure to violence, the review identifies ways that violence can disrupt typical developmental trajectories through psychological effects, such as PTSD, cognitive consequences, and peer pressure. Too often, people have the understanding that whatever occurs in a child's home, they quickly forget those feelings of worthlessness or shame, when in fact those are memories that can shape how the child views his or her own family for generations to come. These lingering thoughts may form the child's perception on what is a healthy relationship and what it's like to be in a good, stable environment. The children that are put in these circumstances often have a difficult time realizing what is and what isn't a good family atmosphere. Many times people who encounter abuse don't feel as if they are validated for asking for help. Here are some statistics that state about domestic violence. Some domestic violence cases include things such as rape and incest, which oftentimes result in severe injury and sometimes death, especially for women and children. According to the article, The Health of Children and Refugees for Women Victims of Domestic Violence, written by Elspeth Webb, Judith Schenkelman, Mirren R. Evans, and Rachel Brooks, it states that children and refugees have had the added experience of growing up with violence. Nearly 75% have witnessed violence, including 10% witnessing sexual assault of their mother. Between 20 and 70% of children exposed to domestic violence are themselves physically abused. Domestic violence is a common and serious problem. After learning the drastic amount of children who are put through domestic abuse, it's mind-boggling to realize that there are thousands of children and adults who deal with these problems on a day-to-day basis. A solution for this issue could be as simple as letting someone know when you encounter a case of domestic violence, whether it be you personally, your friend, family member, or your child. Stand up for the victim and let someone know what's happening and how bad the situation is so it can be handled properly. Domestic violence doesn't have to keep claiming the identity of innocent people's lives. So take control of your life and empower others to take control of theirs. The main goal is to stop the cycle from spreading to the next generation. It's difficult to find an effective resolution for the people already affected by this epidemic. However, there are a lot more choices to choose from when finding an alternative to the current situation. Domestic violence can affect a person in a multitude of ways. Thank you.